Let's open the meeting. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
roll call.
Dunbar.
Present.
Harper.
Here.
Mazer.
Here.
Sofa.
Here.
Weaver.
Here.
Wareham.
Here.
Zimmer.
Here.
Non-agenda items from the sidelines. Jim Fields.
Jim Fields, 80263 Bell River Road. Donna, thank you for forwarding my request over to Bart. Bart did call me today at my office to give me the answers on lagoon capacity testing that I had requested through FOIA. Bart and I had a lengthy conversation, and through the conversation it was discussed that no lagoon capacity testing has been completed. And I had asked Mr. Dunsmore to send that summary to Donna to put it in writing to respond back to my FOIA request. The letter I got a little bit ago is, "Good morning, James. From my phone call to you on July 1, 2025, I asked you what specifically did you want to know regarding lagoon capacity test. I believe I answered your question during our phone conversation." That's not what we discussed on the phone, and what I'd asked you to pass along to Donna to reply back to my written FOIA request. If the testing wasn't done, it's really simple. You just say the testing wasn't done, you reply back, that's why we can't reply, supply you the information. Because it didn't exist, and that's the answer. That's the response to the FOIA request. That's the response we talked about. Whoa. That's the response we talked about. 5 individuals in my office. 5 individuals in my office were listening to the phone call. Okay, so that's moving on to the other. That's just where that is.
You know, you can push these people around.
I'm not.
You're not gonna push me around. You don't intimidate me.
Do you have more, Mr. Fields?
I do have more actually. And we'll just carry on with that part of that then. Ms. Harper sat up here going into the election, and she believes the citizens of Memphis should be allowed to ask questions throughout meetings and should give them prompt and simple responses. I don't think that the administrator from the DPW should have the forum to state like that. I'm not intimidating anybody. I'm exercising my right, and it's been asked, and you and I had a conversation about it. Now, if we've talked about this, and the feelings and everything are going to get in the way of a lot of stuff. There's emotional investments in things, but it's not your position to talk to me that way in a meeting. I did nothing but state the facts, and I have people that can stand there and support those facts. So the bottom line is capacity testing was never done, and that's a problem. We know that's a problem. It's been referenced for 5 years, okay? And that's what was said on the phone today. That's not the answer I got. So back to the flooding issues like we talked about last week when I brought up the whole trespass thing. To be real clear on that, that is Wiggins versus the City of Burton, Michigan Appellate 532 in 2011, where the Wiggins purchased a lot. There was new construction. It changed the flood zone. The flood zone flooded 2 neighbors' properties, Mailer and Heckman's. Mailer and Heckman's complained of the flooding to the city. The city put in a catch basin as a remedy, which forced the Wiggins to take all that property. It changed the floodplain on their property. And then the Wiggins turned around and sued both the Matthews, the Heckmans, and the City of Burton. And the appellate ruled on that. And then the Supreme Court ruled that trespass is being created or changing the floodplains is a trespass, and nobody has the right to do so. So there are civil problems going on with this drainage. And I see that the drainage issues are on the agenda tonight, but it's still going on with Bob. It's still going on with Dean across the street. It's still going on with Cynthia and John. I mean, those are real issues. We have new houses. We have the floodplains changed. Now, the contractor was back there with some earth moving equipment, and they scalped some grade and they moved it up on what would be, I think, lot 10, the last house to be built directly across from you, Tim, where the ditch is. Now that fall between there, you got a 68-inch grade difference between that property line, which is Heather's property. So whatever they did to do that ditch, you still don't have a detention pond. But now you've got a straight slope back down into Heather's property, which is gonna do a backwash, because there's no silt fencing, there's none that's ever been used in any of these constructions, which was part of the process, it should have been in there. Now, when they were moving the dirt, they moved dirt from the back lot and actually drove it around the lot, drove it across Bell River and used it on the 3 houses across the street, on the back of those to build up grade. So we can check and see if the permits were pulled to move the dirt from those lots, because as we've discussed before, that's also something that is a permit issue and it's been brought up to the city. So I don't know why, it's kind of like adding insult to injury. I mean, we know these things are being documented, we know we're in the middle of some issues, and yet we're still spinning our wheels, so it's not anything that's changed. I mean, few of you have gotten up here and you've ran on the platform of more transparency, more accountability. I mean, Tammy ran on that platform. Ken said that, accountability, transparency, doing things moving forward. And yet we still seem to be stuck in this cycle. It's like, guys, I'm gonna be a pain in the butt. I mean, in writing and passed around in the city level. And subject to FOIA stuff, and those documents come out. I don't take snapshots of this stuff and run it all over social media like I could, but I don't. I'm trying to maintain a little bit of respect.
All right, that's time. Thank you. Tina?
I have some simple request. Tina Manzik, 80461 Bell River. I'm still against the ZBA granting 8 variances, not 4, but there are 8. The grass needs to be cut again, just like mine has been twice a week for the last 3 to 4. Sad citizens are moving away. The first people that moved in next door are leaving. Believe it or not, it's not because of me. I never received, I have applied for money. I put money down to receive notifications of meetings. The ZBA, I was only notified of the ZBA because I received a message, and this was a mistake, I'm sure. It just said no need to attend. I don't need commentary when receiving notifications of meetings. I just need notifications. I was notified after I said what meeting. I wasn't notified of today's meeting. I was not notified of the city council meeting in June. I sent an email, asked why, and there was no reply. My FOIA is not complete that I FOIA'd. Please complete it. If there's questions about what's not complete, I'll get with you next week. I have a trial on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. What I did notice in some of the stuff that I FOIA'd is y'all write notes about us. I can't believe you do that. You cannot write a citizen's name and put pain in the butt next to it. It's slander to say it and libel to write it. It's not funny, Jason.
I was wondering who did it. It is
It actually, what would you call that? Childish, right? Thank you.
a matter of opinion, I guess.
Opinions get people and government officials in a lot of trouble as I move on. I'd like to thank you for removing the minutes off that had next to my name that I was insulting. I'm not insulting, I'm intelligent, and I have forethought, and I will bring it to this meeting and bring it to you. The next step to be done is to have those amended and put back on the internet. I am not going to be disrespected, and the disrespect that I received by the word insulting being written next to my name will be met with the same note. Hear these words: intentions, force, and power as the presentation as they were on the internet. They need to be remanded and following the letter of the law. Please do that as well. As for the DPW meeting, please don't speak until I'm done. I was verbally accosted by Mr. Zimmer, accused of bullying Larry and himself. Mr. Wilson, I have never bullied you. He wasn't even at the meeting. I've only been at a couple meetings with you. I've never bullied you that I'm aware of. Actually, I think I've only been kind to you. I was called a bully. It was put on a video, which can be published on the internet. I am offended. I was belittled as a citizen, and as it being done by a public official takes it to the next step. Well, Steve, we had a wonderful and productive meeting with you as well, Bart. Jim was there, I was there, my husband was there. Were you there, Jim? I don't remember, sorry. While it was a productive meeting, you were out of line. I will not be yelled at. The citizens of Memphis will no longer stand for such. I have many witnesses. His accusations were willfully abusive, accosted, and he should at minimal have a process improvement plan put in his HR file. No, he laughs. Possibly be sent for anger management classes as part of his duties to remain as a public official or be removed from office. I am available for proof and discussion at any set date agreed upon by your counsel and your attorney, as well as mine, myself, and any other interested parties and witnesses from that evening. I want a public apology posted online, and to know I would like to know who HR in Memphis is. They need to be notified of his behavior. He is a city employee. All meetings are recorded. Please know this. Proof is in the pudding, as my grandma would say. Thank you.
Actually, the proof is the pudding is in the baking.
It depends on which grandma you had. Mine was from Tennessee.
Mine was from Germany.
Okay. Pudding is not.
I was just gonna say, when you have it's like where you were complaining, we have forms that, and you can address it better if you fill out a complaint form.
I wanted it to be noted publicly, just like he did it to me, as I was directed to do. Thank you. I wasn't being sassy.
Yeah, I can't find your name anywhere, but
It wasn't last month's meeting, I wasn't here, I had surgery.
we have May too. I didn't see the May, I don't know where. I don't see the difference, no, but if it's on video.
There's a DPW committee meeting she's referencing.
Yes. Thank you,
Okay.
Kenny.
Yeah.
City administration, Donna?
Bart?
On July 11th, 12th, and 13th, weather permitting, the city will have new pavement coming to Boardman Road, from Weber Road to Boardman Road. I just received another call today to firm them dates up. So, only thing that would stop it would be usual rain. But it should be a 3-day project.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Larry? Doug?
Just one thing for city council or the city in general to start thinking about, is we had the fire in the house down the street, and I'm guessing that house will have to be torn down at some point. I don't believe there's insurance to cover that cost, so the city's gonna have to start thinking about the process of getting that done, because otherwise it's just gonna sit there as it is.
Do you know if it'd have to be condemned, and
I-
then the city would step in?
Yeah, I don't, that's what I say, I don't know the process.
Yeah, just curious.
Was anybody hurt?
Oh, yeah, we pulled the owner out of the house.
I mean, your people.
No, no.
Do we know of any family members or anything that?
I think there's a nephew, but I'm not
We
sure.
had two cousins come in,
Yeah,
Okay.
and I asked them to let us know how he's doing, and I never heard nothing back.
yeah, I haven't heard an update since
Do you know
Memorial
who owns the
Day.
house, chief?
Hmm?
Do you know who owns the house?
I don't know the name offhand, but yeah,
Is it a private owner though?
yes.
It was the guy who was in it, right?
Yeah,
It was the house.
yeah.
So will his family be responsible for?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that, county, we'll do something.
Okay, we'll have to look into that. Okay.
That's it.
There is a process for removal in our new rental inspection. That's why I asked that, because the rental inspection, we're gonna talk about that then too, a little now. Are the forms generated up to a condemnation and or removal restoration?
I believe the house has been in the same family for
We'll
quite
put on
some
the tax
time.
roll.
Parks and Rec, anybody here from? Jenna? Any other administration?
Music in the park is this week.
Starts Wednesday.
To Lions Field. All right. Adoption or amendment of the agenda?
If there are no amendments, I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Support.
Harper,
Yes.
Mazer,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Weaver,
So is
Wait,
that
Ron.
date you said?
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Dunbar.
Yes.
Approval of regular meeting minutes of May 19th. How do I have May 3rd, May 6th?
I also got.
Yeah, I got May
Yes.
6th.
So that is an amendment of the agenda. So it's May 6th,
Okay, that's gonna get from missing the 6th.
yes.
Which,
This is supposed
these
to be-
minutes, these minutes were approved, right?
The 6th
That's
was
what I'm
not,
asking.
the 6th was not because they weren't in our packets.
Yeah, that's right, we got the 19th.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct. And then this is a conclusion.
Can we change insulted to shared constructive criticism with?
Well,
Gave definition of Groundhog Day, she stated she is a nurse and insulted the clerk. It's more diplomatic.
How did you phrase it?
Shared constructive criticism.
Do we have to vote on that?
I would imagine we're
Yes.
amending it.
And what was the statement? Change? So,
It's in the minutes.
She stated she is a nurse and insulted the clerk too. She stated she is a nurse and shared constructive criticism.
so who's insulting who there?
Mrs. Manzik had some comments towards Donna. She felt insulted, which I do not blame you for feeling insulted. I think, Ms. Manzik, you speak very passionately, and sometimes that is
You want to change that to what?
shared constructive criticism with
You share constructive criticism with,
Donna.
instead of insulted?
Yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure I got that right.
Ken, are you making that motion?
Yes, sorry. I motion we amend the May 6th meeting minutes as presented to exclude the word insulted and change to shared constructive criticism.
Support.
Mazer,
Yes.
Sofa,
No.
Weaver,
You have to support diplomacy, yes.
Waver,
yes.
Zimmer,
No.
Dunbar,
Yes.
Harper.
Yes.
Okay, I got Mazer. Oh, I'm sorry, Mazer, Weaver, Wagram, Dunbar and Harper, yes. Sofa and Zimmer, no. Motion carried.
I don't remember saying anything about the June 3rd meeting minutes.
That was last.
Well, we always do it from last month.
I'm so sorry. I don't, like, nothing to change, you know.
Oh, oh.
Oh, okay.
Approve as
Yeah,
presented.
yes. I motion we approve June 3rd as presented.
Support.
Do you want to include the executive minutes in that?
Yes, can we just do the rest of the minutes?
So called.
June 3rd and executive.
Yes.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Who, did you motion, second it? Sofa,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yeah.
Wayrum,
Yeah.
Zimmer,
Yeah.
Dunbar,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Mazer.
Yes.
Presentation approval of June disbursements report for $157,639.13 in electronic wire transfers, $18,751.98.
Make a motion to approve those disbursements.
Support.
I did have a question on those, if that's okay.
Go ahead.
I'm assuming that it's just split between Department of Public Works and water and sewer system expenses, but I saw expenses that were identical on both. I'm assuming the cost was just split between those?
Yes, I have some items that is 50/50 between general and water.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't a
Yeah.
double.
Okay, Weaver,
Yes.
Wayrum,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Dunbar,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Mazer,
Yes.
Sofa.
Yes.
Okay. Can I get a motion to accept the communication?
So moved.
Support.
Wayrum,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yeah.
Dunbar,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Mazer,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
Joe Cucci.
Is he here?
Yeah, hello, I'm Joe Cutty, 73850 McFadden, Armada, Michigan. I just came here to discuss the possible usage of the Memphis Lions Little League baseball field. I'm with the Outlaws Youth Baseball Program, we're an organization. We have a 10U, we're going into the 2026 season. We have a 9U, a 10U, and 11U travel baseball team. 3 teams all in all, here with other coaches, and we just would like to discuss the usage of the field behind the Lions Club there, and what potential teams or what we could do to kind of preserve the field, help the city of Memphis out, and utilize the fields and help maintain. And then I think Bill, you had a couple of things you'd like to add.
Yeah, so my name is Bill Wynn. I live at 14144 Huff Road in Burville. Grew up in the area, played Little League baseball in Armada, played against Memphis for many years. I know you guys had lost your Little League in the past couple years. We are all very heavily involved in youth baseball in the community. We're taking, a lot of kids in the area have gone to the teams in Rochester or Shelby or Chesterfield. Our kids included are very competitive at baseball. We want to have a place that we can keep youth from Yale, Memphis, Elmont. We want to keep them here. We don't want them to go away. So we're putting together a smaller organization, not these larger travel clubs where you pay $5,000, $8,000 a year to play. We're going to keep it as affordable as we can and get kids year-round instruction and be able to keep them here to make the high school baseball teams in the area better. I drive by your field all the time behind the American Legion Hall and I see that it's overgrown. I'm like, why are we battling for field space somewhere else when we can keep local, help maintain, pay, and all we ask is to have first right of refusal of the fields. We can schedule. We don't have any problem with other people using it if we're maintaining it. We just want to have the first chance. So I don't know, is that your field behind the American Legion Hall for the township
No.
or for the city to allow?
The Legion's field belongs to the American Legion.
That's what I figured.
The other 2 at the Lions Club do belong to the city.
Okay.
Right now there are 2 teams that use it for practice, I believe 2 teams. They've only asked for permission for this year, but I think they're just practicing, they're not throwing games or anything like that. I'm sure it's something you guys could work around.
Yeah.
And the deal that we had always had historically with MYBSO was if you maintained the fields, then that was the trade-off. And it wasn't just maintain the fields for your season while you play it. So like once you're done playing, you just leave and it overgrows and it's got to cut. So you maintain it through the summer. That was the agreement. They paid a landscape company that kind of came in when they weren't taking care of it themselves.
So
I live right there. I just went out today and sprayed sprayed the one, the smaller field that doesn't have a fence around it.
Uh-huh.
Trying, because they do a mush ball tournament there in the summer, so I'm trying to at least get some of those weeds cleaned up, and I'm gonna pull them out, run a dethatcher around there. I don't have anything to like dress the field or anything, but just to make, they'll come in like a week before and rehab it even more. I'm just trying to make it easier for them, but yeah, if somebody's there, just using the field makes a huge difference.
100%,
you know?
yeah, absolutely.
So I'm not as familiar with those fields. I went into the American Legion Hall and looked at that field, and that was initially when I went to Joe, and I was like, hey, this field looks really nice. It has a nice fence, it has a nice backstop. It's just not used. I would be really intrigued to go look at your fields. I played on those fields when I was a Pike. I remember playing there. I just don't know, do they have a fence or do they have a backstop?
The one field has a fence and a backstop and dugouts, covered dugouts.
Okay.
There's a roof over them, they're fairly new. Has a couple bleachers. There was a concession stand, it's gone. As of just like 2 days ago, I got pulled out of it.
The one back by the concession softball use, so you have a pretty decent fence back there.
Yeah, that one's in good
pretty
shape.
good.
The other one is
was
backstop.
a T-ball, so it's a little smaller. So, you know, if you have upper eight, they'll be knocking over the fence here, but that, they still play T-ball over there?
They don't pay, no, because nobody play, they
There's a
all
lot
that
of
gets used, all that gets used for.
on the pitching machine on that one, but it's a lot shorter. The other one was a pretty decent size.
So there's electricity running out there to the smaller field for pitching machines?
Yep.
I don't believe there is, and the other one, there could be. There's power out there though, it might run to that field, to the
You got
pitcher's
local
mound.
power on the big field too, on the regular junction boxes out there, if you ever wanted to drag a wagon out in sections.
But yeah, if council would agree and you wanna make an agreement for next year, I'd be all for it myself, so
And I mean, we're
I love to
talking-
see them get used, and I feel exactly the same way you do. If these kids are all leaving, I mean, right now they're leaving short term, they're leaving Memphis to go to Emmett and Armada.
Yep.
Or Richmond or
Yep,
whatever.
yep.
From there, they move further, you
Yep.
know, and it's, without something being here for kids, but now would these teams be open to Memphis youth to join?
100%.
You want to recruit?
We're
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of, we're kind of finding that middle ground, like there's the rec leagues that are the first level, and then there's kids that are traveling down to Macomb and Oxford, I mean, everywhere for a higher level of play.
Yeah.
And I mean, we have a lot of kids they're just talented athletes that are willing to put in the work and want the extra effort. But you know, it's not only a financial burden to go down and pay that kind of money and the travel and expense on the families, but finding that middle ground. And then we have seen it firsthand, you know, the boys that are growing up playing with each other, it's just nice that they keep a good group of friends. I mean, our team is, I mean, we are primarily Armada kids, but we're obviously this year we're going to be opening it up. What we did last year, we had one boy from New Haven. But it is pretty amazing just to see them all play together and then be able to go to school together, but play at another caliber of baseball. They are really stepping up and
So
playing.
do you guys have, do you have an organization, is it a nonprofit? or
Yeah, it's a 501c3
You got a
nonprofit for
501c3?
Outlaws, yep.
So you're all insured?
Yep,
all
that's what I was
that
gonna say,
stuff?
we have all of our own self-insured and, yep, everything.
But the idea is to expand that to Memphis youth. Like
Yep.
we're actively working on a flyer that we would be more than happy to provide to the city council. You guys can put it on your webpage and say, hey, Memphis has a chance at baseball again, come try out.
Yeah.
Yep.
No,
Like-
our fields, the fields that belong to the city are, size-wise, they should work for you just fine. The one is smaller, but that'd be for youth, T-ball, you know, coach pitch or something like that.
So right now, it's, like you said, there's
Yep.
3 teams, and it's a 9-year-old team, which is gonna be their first year of coach pitch. This is Ed Sturzinski, he's gonna coach that team. I'm gonna coach the 10U team, and Joe is gonna coach the 11U team. We are all seasoned coaches. Me and Joe have been coaching together for 4 years now. But we've seen kind of the transition from the old rec baseball to now the kids are leaving, they're going other places to play, and we wanna keep those kids here. The kids that wanna go are the kids that we wanna bring into this program. Just to keep that core. These kids will grow up and they'll play high school baseball against each other, probably.
I would like to have an agreement, to where we actually have an agreement.
No, I think
That you're gonna maintain the fields.
Yep, yeah, absolutely.
You'll maintain the small field, the big field, and then any other, you'll make another agreement with the Legion Hall,
Yep.
because that's their private property.
Yep.
There's unused fields at the school, you should approach them also.
Okay.
Are you guys looking at hosting tournaments and stuff too, or just?
Probably not this year.
Not this
Right.
year.
So I would
yeah.
say, here's another thing to consider, you would have to get a hold of, and he's easy to work with, but just if you're gonna have a big event out there, make sure that you let the Hall and Grounds manager of the Lions Club know for parking.
Mm-hmm.
Cause if he has a big party going on there, a
Yeah.
rental going on there at the
Yeah.
same time that you have a tournament, we've had things in the past where there's miscommunication and
Just
there's
chaotic.
arguments. There's people who pay good money to rent and
Right,
all
absolutely.
the parking spots right up close to the building are taken up by
Absolutely.
baseball people, and I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah,
Pay
absolutely.
$250, $300.
So right now, it's primarily gonna be more of a practice, scrimmage, game field. You know, we'll be having a team from maybe Port Huron come down and we'll scrimmage them.
Yeah.
We'll have a team come from Caseville, or not Caseville, but
Yale.
Yale will come down.
Yeah.
So that's the idea now. We are not looking, I was, I currently still am the vice president of the Army Baseball Association. We put on huge 70-team tournaments. Like, that's not what we're gonna do here.
Right.
This is gonna
We
be
don't have
like a field that we use to get to
Perfect.
practice at.
Yeah, and you would just give the number to Bob, who takes care of the
Yeah.
Lions Hall like that, and just give him a heads up of your schedule.
But we're all very determined. We won't, if you guys let us use the fields, we will make sure that they're maintained.
Yeah, they will
Like,
be-
we are gonna.
they will be nice.
The weed whip, we'll clean them. We have access to every piece of equipment that we could need. I mean, we will be a good partner to the city. If you need something done, and you come to us and say, hey, we don't have the manpower to do this.
Yeah.
I can
That's small
guarantee
field.
that we would come
We'll be
down.
happy to help.
I take care of the small field just because I don't want to see it overgrown, but I don't take good care of it.
For sure. Right. Yeah, exactly.
I do, I live right there, so when I mow my lawn, I go over there and try to do
Yep.
a little bit of what I can, keep it
Yep.
clean, but,
So like, we'll, I mean,
so,
we have.
like left
put in
field is
bases.
actually my property,
Oh, okay.
if you go out far enough. Now, if
Yeah.
it's T-ball, they're not hitting it
They're
that
not
far,
that
they're
far.
not going out the outfield.
There's our hall manager's phone number,
Beautiful.
Bob Burkett, so you
Okay.
can text him, let him know.
So you wanna make a motion to make
Well, wait, we had
We get
the
that
Blue
discussed.
Water Wolves, they were using the field,
This year.
are they done?
This year, and like he said, they would work together,
Yeah,
so they would
absolutely.
exchange
I mean, we
numbers
would just,
too.
like I said, if we're gonna doing the maintenance, we'd like the first right. I mean, obviously, we're mainly using it for a practice field and a scrimmage field. We're not planning on having games or tournaments or anything. And so obviously,
Because
like,
I know
there's
last year,
plenty.
they were doing games out
They-
there.
yeah.
Well, they were maintaining it. too.
Yeah, and they are
So that was
maintaining
part
it.
of
I can give you the number to the one guy.
Yep.
Actually, I have both their numbers. I think that are the guys that are using the,
When are you guys looking to start? Fall?
just to touch base with them, and then we can make an agreement later, but.
Yeah, it would probably be
Probably.
spring of 26. Yeah, spring.
Spring of 26?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't even be until,
Right.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and theirs, I think, Tammy, ends summer, this, at the end of this summer.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they would want to continue on in that, you know, so they, yeah, they would,
They could figure it out.
They would,
I don't think they're gonna practice.
no.
I mean, it's trouble.
That team broke up, I think.
Okay. So
Yeah.
he's not using it.
If it did come down to like maintaining it this fall, like we'd be
Yeah.
happy to start kind of getting, because we're probably gonna just validate the bases, make sure, you know, if we need to buy new bases and get everything kind of redug and, you know, get the
Right.
field trimmed out, that's something we can do this fall, just so we have a jump start on it in the spring.
Yeah.
Work on any drainage, that kind of stuff, we can do it this fall.
Yeah.
But that way it's kind of ready to get into it.
Would you be willing to bring any diamond dirt if we needed it?
What's that?
Would you be willing to bring any diamond dirt if we needed it?
Yeah, I mean, exactly, I mean,
I'm not
I.
talking gravel trains, but it might be a little dressing.
For sure, for sure, for sure. Yeah, and I understand, I mean, we'll be, that would be
Money.
sincere,
We have our own money.
I farm as well as Bill, I mean, we have the
Somebody
equipment,
can try to
we
track
use
down
Yeah, yeah, nice
it.
rate
Okay.
behind a four-wheel or something, equipment like.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
we're big into,
I think it's like.
I guess.
if the kid can't afford it.
So yeah, if you guys discuss with them and you can make something work with the other team that's using it, I don't have a problem with
I
it.
just not a.
We appreciate it very much.
We got it.
Approve it.
No, my
'cause
brother and I grew up on softball field.
Bart has a question.
Bart.
Years.
Yeah.
I just have
It's
some
amazing.
information regarding the backfield behind the youth center.
Mhm.
That was designed, with spacing and such for Little League.
Okay,
If that means anything to you,
okay,
okay?
yeah, no,
I
Depending
absolutely.
don't know what
age.
ages you're.
Yep,
Yep.
So
Yeah,
we're gonna
I mean-
have two different field requirements. They're gonna be playing like a 50-70, so 70-foot bases, 50-foot pitching mound. And me and Eddie will be playing 46-foot pitching mound and 60-foot bases. So we've already talked, we'll invest in getting the quick change bases to be able to, you know, you guys will be very happy with what we do.
Okay. Yeah, because somebody asked us to use the fields for this year.
Mhm.
2 years ago, it was Tom, and that worked out really well. Last year, I believe it was Dave or somebody else that came up, and they asked to use it. I live right there, I see kids using it, they're not really hosting games there, they're mostly just practicing their travel team. They're just
That's what we're
practicing.
gonna be doing.
So if you guys would work it out with them and,
For sure.
you know, work on a schedule that works for everybody and
Yep.
stuff like that, because you don't want anybody feeling like, hey, we're a Memphis team, and we don't want these Armada guys coming in here taking
No,
our
absolutely.
field.
Well, and hopefully we got
But
some.
you're all
Memphis-
baseball people, I'm sure you
Yeah.
can make it work.
Well, that's what-
Did you ask for Hankins' number?
Dave's.
Yeah, I don't wanna say it out loud there.
Yeah, and hopefully we have a bunch of Memphis kids on the team. Like I said, we're
Yeah,
hoping just for the
fantastic.
best around in the community, so.
So, what do you guys think? Do you guys think we should vote on this now, or maybe wait till next month after he discusses with the other team? or-
When he brings us back.
Well, the other
schedule.
team didn't ask for next year.
Yeah.
No, they asked for this year.
Right, so I would just vote on his, he's here first.
So we can do
And
that.
I don't think that they were, they're
I
here.
don't think it's gonna be a problem.
I don't think it'll be a problem,
I don't
and like,
think so.
even if they wanted to do it next year, I'm sure they would work
They're
with
gonna
them.
be-
Exactly. We only have 3 teams. There's plenty of time on the field.
Yeah, communication is key,
Absolutely.
communication with the Lions Club, communication with,
Okay, so
Bart,
let's
maybe
get a
once in a while.
motion then.
So I'll make a motion to allow them the use of the 2 fields that we own, at the, oh, is it Pine Meadows Park? Actually, that's
I
it.
didn't know that.
Support.
Zimmer
And
Yes.
and maintain it.
and maintain.
Yes,
And if you can come in sometime and maybe with Tammy, write up just a loose agreement that says in exchange, we are gonna take care of the fields.
Yeah.
so-
Yeah,
No, I
it'll,
think
it'll
that'd
be
be great.
something probably in exchange for maintenance of fields, we,
Yep.
you know, we're looking for first right of refusal, understanding that we're only 3 teams and other people can use it. Like that's all it needs to be, we're not looking for a binding contract or anything, right?
Right.
For sure.
You don't
Dumber.
use the Armada fields? We were up at their tournament.
We do, they're
Why
just
do you
very
push
busy.
them away? Don't
We-
push them away.
so we do.
We got a really nice
I'll say
setup.
you're.
And I am a main caretaker of those fields, believe it or not. It is so hard to get field time in Armada now. And I guess, I mean, we have 300 and, between 300 and 330 kids in our youth baseball organization, and we have 6 fields. So when you're trying to schedule practice time at the beginning of the season, and you get a couple of rainouts and they start stacking up, all of a sudden you don't have field time. I mean, ABA carries the first right of refusal to those fields through the township, which I totally understand. And now, you know, we're gonna do this, and
You
we're
have it
looking
here.
for a field of our own.
Well, we'll be happy to have you.
I was about this close to building my own baseball field. Until we saw those, I went,
And
those
we
are
have-
really nice
we
fields, we
really
should just
have-
use those.
We really have 2 good fields and 1 smaller field, because
So
the,
we're gonna go, okay.
I don't
We
know.
started.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
it's in a cornfield too, so.
Dunbar,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes,
Yeah.
Weaver,
so,
Wayram.
Yes.
I don't have the contact info for the guy at the Legion Hall. Does anybody in here?
Well, I'll swing in there,
Yeah,
and
we
we
can
really
swing
don't
in.
need, I don't think that we need more, obviously, we don't need more fields than
Yeah,
than what
if
we're
the
gonna
two
get from
will,
you.
if the 2 will be work, then we'll start with that, and then if it overflows, then we can obviously reach out and go in
They
there.
could probably use somebody over there, okay.
Their field is
absolutely.
overgrown for sure.
Yeah.
And it looked like it was a really nice field. Their field looked
Yeah, that
very
does
nice.
You know what, if they don't get used, they go back fast.
Yeah.
Okay.
The T-ball field, if that fence needed to be moved, would that be now?
No, there is no fence around the outside of the T-ball field, there's a backstop and there's dugouts.
Okay.
They're not covered dugouts either, they're just
Yep.
dugouts.
Yep.
But yeah, no, there's putting a fence, I wouldn't.
Don't the fences run down the sidelines, I thought, down the baseline?
There is, yeah, down the base, there's a small
Yeah, just
baseline, but
no
it stops.
exterior.
Yeah, it's made for, it's
No,
not
that's
made for
perfect.
kids that hit it out, you know?
Perfect, perfect.
Like I said, most of my
There's-
field's actually on the property that I own,
Okay.
our property.
So there's options for fences to be put up, you know, temporary fences and stuff if we needed to do something like
They
that.
do it for mush ball, and you would end up having to go on to our land, and we'd let them do it for mush ball, but that'd be something to talk about.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, if we needed a field or
If you,
something,
if you need to do something, yeah, you can
Yeah.
just,
We make it work, you know?
for sure.
okay.
Well, I just wanna say thank you for the time and like, just readdressing your question. We would love to have as many Memphis kids try out as possible. I know that you guys lost your youth organization, I'm sure there's some very, very good baseball players. And if their parents are struggling to get them to the Chesterfields of the world and they see a flyer and they say, holy crap, we can try out for something that's right here. It's a win-win for everybody. We are driving literally 5 minutes to get here. And we're keeping local youth around the area.
I like it.
Yeah, once you get a flyer, give it to us, we'll definitely get it on our website, get it out there,
Perfect.
so.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Great.
Thank you, gentlemen.
You guys have a Facebook page?
We do.
Yeah.
Yep. It's currently the Armada Outlaws, going forward it'll just be the Outlaws organization.
So there was only one team before, and now
Yeah.
we're kind of expanding. So with the intent of getting youth from other communities in the area, we wanted to remove the name Armada from the team, just because it's, like, we don't want any false impressions that Armada kids are gonna play first, or Armada kids are gonna make the team, right? It's
Yep.
more than that now.
So Outlaws, all right, thanks a lot.
Cool, alright, we can.
You can, you don't have to sit in
Thank you
front.
very much. Thank you for putting up with our.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Time.
Thank you.
That'd be a really funny requirement, if you have the addresses you have.
You gotta stay.
You have to stay.
Yeah.
All right, unfinished business. New City Hall Committee.
So, last week on the 19th, we advisory met to talk about the new City Hall. We received bids, and somehow, some way, the bid prices went up when we had a construction package. So it's kind of funny how that works. I think some of it is they just were hoping that some of their bids would be taken. We decided as a committee that there has to be a better way to do this. And that is allowing the committee to act as the general contractor and subcontract out the work, like finding a plumber for the base, or for the bathrooms, and working on some of the construction stuff, and talking to some of the people that we know in the city that would be willing to volunteer and help out. Mr. Weaver and myself would be willing to volunteer and help out. We talked yesterday about working with Mel and talking to Mel about some of these things and his ideas and recommendations. If DPW ever has any time, not saying you do, anything like that.
I'd love to have time, yeah.
We just feel like there's a way better and just a more fiscally responsible way to do this. And also, we're just getting hung up with waiting for people and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for people to respond, to get back to us, to figure something out. We would like to encapsulate that into the advisory committee. Obviously, we will need council support for larger items. Logistically, we have to figure that out. Donna, I'm sure, would help us with that as treasurer. But that is what we would like to do. We would like to request approval from the council to act as general contractor on the remodel project in coordination with DPW, the treasurer, and our building inspector, electrical inspector, those types of things.
I have a question, like how do we, if you guys choose that you're gonna do something, do we pre-approve a budget for you?
So we have a budget still left over.
Okay.
We have budgeted money, we have budgeted funds left over. So I don't, that's the logistics
As
question.
they come in, if we need one, then, okay.
Right. That would be the logistics part that we would have to work with Donna as treasurer on.
And
If it gets
run into a budget where you need a vote, we just
we
have a vote.
vote, yes.
When we run out of money.
So
What's
if you
what's
stay
the
under.
amount that we have to work with right now?
I think after we do the painting, the carpeting, the cleaning, all that, I think it's like right around 30,000. I got the exact number.
So the painting is already approved, the carpet's already approved.
Well, no, we didn't approve
It's
the
not,
carpet
but we
floor
have,
yet, but we
we
got
have the
it.
quote.
We got the quotes.
The quote for carpeting is where we would want it to be. It's at a number we would want it to be at from Richmond Interiors. I think it's
Cleaning,
17.
we got, yeah.
And flooring is like 17, I think. Steve talked to someone he knows and can do the bathroom for half the price of what we were being quoted.
But we have to
But
get
do-
licensed plumbers.
Yes.
Right, yeah, right, of course, but that's the thing, what I found is some of these GCs are just subbing it out anyways.
Yeah.
And they're just charging us the money to do
That's how
that.
they all do it, yeah.
So why would we not just take
Do
that
it
on?
if we can.
Why wouldn't
yeah.
we just do it ourselves?
So I'm talking to Mel yesterday, because we walked through yesterday.
Right,
So adding that one wall for their offices, it's non-bearing, that's not a big issue. You don't
Super
even need
easy.
you don't even need a permit for that.
right,
The kitchen, you don't need a permit to hang the cabinets. You do need electrical permit, plumbing, and mechanical. And really, all you have to do is make one of the bathrooms handicapped.
Correct,
which is basically just taking out the shower to allow the room for them
correct,
to
on
turn
the
around.
underside.
So he says it's not a lot to do. There is one issue he noted with the ramp coming up
Yeah,
with the door because there's not enough clearance with the railing
which
for the
is,
door to open, so that would have to be addressed.
which is something I've looked into. You can get, and if I'm not mistaken, you know, just the people I've talked to, all of those automatic doors, they're wireless now. So the way they work is you put the button at the bottom. and by
Well,
the
they
time get
can't
to
hit the
top-
button though because they have to be buzzed in from the office. Because that's why these aren't working out here because,
So we would have to figure something out about
so
that.
we would have to put the button in
Before
their
we open the
office.
business.
So if somebody buzzes in and needs the door open, they can hit it and open
Yeah.
it.
Which would work,
Right,
that would work.
so that's the easiest.
I mean, it's the same
solution.
thing,
Yeah.
right, it's just moving.
We just
the-
have to make sure the
Right.
door can open before they
And it
get
has to
there
swing out,
because,
right, there's all kinds of.
because it
yeah.
does swing out, but it's, if they go up to the door and
And
the
they
door's
start going
opening, now
backwards.
they're on the ramp.
Right.
There's not enough of a landing, so the
Right.
door would have to be open for them, so. So, but other than that, he said it was, yeah, it was pretty easy.
Doug?
Any timeline? I've got guys that want me to write an eviction notice for city council right now, so.
All for this space.
I mean, as soon as possible, right, like, I
We
mean,
have
we could.
guys that will help?
Yeah, first thing is right
I
on
mean,
that apartment.
I have a few electricians on the department, so.
Right,
Yeah,
like, and this
you
is,
know,
like, this
very
is what we're
small
saying,
organization for
like, the community could, I mean,
Just
obviously.
keep the cost down if
could work
anybody's
together.
willing to, you know?
Right, it's not required, and if we have to sub it out to someone outside of the community, that's fine. But I feel like it's the mentality of like, we're a small town, why are we not utilizing that to our
Right.
benefit as opposed to trying to go outward? We tried that, it didn't work. We can't pay someone $150,000 to do like 4 or 5 things.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
Do you need a motion to approve the advisory to act as a general contractor?
I believe so, right,
Yes.
Donna?
Yeah.
And to make decisions on the city's behalf when it comes to the remodel of City Hall.
Okay. I make that motion.
I will say before we vote on that, I'm all for you guys acting as our general contractor. My biggest hang up about that would be the appearance of favoritism or anything like that. If we, you know, have your person who's going to do it for considerably cheaper,
It's another bid, I mean,
just the
bids are
optics of it.
transparent.
Did we
We
get more
can't
than
help
their
it, we
bill
are
though?
related to somebody
So,
that's stone
Making it open
in
up for
this
bid.
town. if
We can still
working
open
out.
it up for bids if we
Sure.
want to.
Just not a general contractor.
That would be my
Just not a
only complaint.
Valid,
Well, yeah, because
valid point.
that's where I said, you know, if you have a punch list and say, we need one
Right.
bathroom remodeled, we
Yeah.
can do the demo
We can do
ourselves.
3.
That's
We
exactly the
just
point.
need
Yeah.
to make this one bathroom handicap.
Exactly.
This
I just
is-
bought a Sawzall. I'd be pumped to get to use it.
Ken's gonna come in and sell stuff up.
Okay.
Yes, we could still put, we would
Put
still
the
put
stuff
stuff
out
out to
for
bid
bid
if
when
we
we're,
needed
Yeah.
to.
when we're ready for it.
Okay.
When we're ready,
When we're
yeah.
at that point for the bathroom.
But instead of bidding on a general contractor who's gonna do the full scope, you're gonna be
Right.
bidding on an electrician.
Absolutely.
Right.
To do this job.
I'll support Mr. Soto's motion.
Okay. Dunbar.
Yes.
Harper.
Yes.
Mazer.
Yes.
Sofa.
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
Waram.
Yes.
Zimmer.
Yes.
Rental inspections.
I don't see, is there anything in the package?
Yeah, I was
No,
wondering
there's
about
nothing
that.
on the package.
No, that's Steve. He's gonna-
Well, we got all that done, but I just did not want this one to fall off the cliff. You know, all the stuff is written, just a few general points, and I had a couple things I wanted to ask, when we want to roll this out. We were talking about spring, now it's already July 1st. So that's the first thing, does council have any input, when can we roll this out?
Well,
Like
we
yesterday.
can't
as
roll
far as I'm
anything out
concerned.
that we don't have any input on.
Well, we did, we've already written up the stat, we've already written up the ordinance, we've adopted it, all the forms.
It's in the ordinance.
It's an ordinance.
It's all
I
been
think,
It's
so
the
like,
paperwork, I don't think they've ever
Honestly,
seen.
Eric would know the most about it. He's not here because he
Yeah.
pretty much wrote that ordinance, you know?
I wrote it, I
Steve,
rewrote it.
yeah,
He
you
brought me
rewrote it
the,
based off
he brought
of-
me the ordinance from
Yeah.
K-PAC, We
Okay.
spent several months going over it.
So wait, when did
Rewrites.
when we vote on a rewrite?
I don't know,
We
it's in
didn't
the record,
rewrite
it's
it.
done, that's all I'm saying.
It didn't get
You can
rewritten.
look it up if you want.
So the original was approved by council, I believe, last year sometime.
Yeah,
The problem I think that we're having is the same thing with the city hall is who's taking the lead.
Yeah.
What happens is we vote on things, nobody takes the lead.
Well, that's what I'm saying,
Nothing
is
gets
like,
done.
that we don't
So I thought just
have
having a rollout date would be a good exercise to start. When do we?
I mean, is
that.
that,
No, but,
I'd be happy with that tonight if I get a rollout date. When do
no,
we get a
I'm not
target?
gonna, I'm not gonna say, let's roll it out on this date when I don't have any, what are we rolling out? I don't have anything in
It's
front of
already
me.
been, it's already in there.
It's already been, but I don't have
There's
anything in
no
here, it
reference
was
to
done
that.
before I
Don, do you
became
have
mayor,
that copy of
so.
all those Word documents?
You can't just write rental
Then-
inspections in the
I'm sorry,
agenda and not
you
have
gave me them, it was so long
Did you get a
ago.
copy of those to Tammy and cite the ordinance?
The
that
ones
you-
I made for you, or the one, or did you give me some?
I gave you like 13
Well,
different
you
ones.
should
that-
give
so you
copies of
generate
what
one
you
each
want to
step, whatever
everybody,
it was. You know,
In an
that's-
email?
It just
Yeah.
says,
Then I would
If
have
not,
it.
I'll
I
send it
agree,
to
it
you.
just says rental.
It was a while, it was a while ago.
so I think the issue
I'll send it to
is,
you.
Steve, are you taking this on to roll it out?
No, I'm not.
Then we need someone to lead.
Well, that's what I'm asking. I'm asking the general counsel. I don't want to be the one making the decisions here. We've got 6 other people around the table. I just wanted to bring it up and discuss it and hopefully get some framework, even if it's the next step. I don't want to not do anything about this. There's a lot of work put into it, and we need to have these rentals inspected.
So
There
it
are some
came from,
problems out there with the rental housing in
I know
town.
when we talked last time, we talked to Mel, Mel said he wanted to start in the spring, and I don't know
Because that's
why
easier.
never-
Because he wasn't in town.
He wasn't in town.
well, that's easier to do, I think it's May 1st.
That was
Something like
going to be
that.
the anniversary day for inspection. We were kind of shooting for that, actually.
So
We're
when it-
hoping to roll it out in spring, but that's come and gone. I mean, he's here now. That doesn't mean he's got to go out and inspect and do all the other stuff, but we should have a target date and start notifying people.
Who is
those
we?
things.
Like, the problem I'm having is who is we? Like, we just voted that it, now, in terms of the new city hall, advisory is going to take the lead. If something is not getting done, it's gonna come back to advisory and say, why isn't this getting done? Now there is someone in charge of this project.
what
Who is
committee do
going
we
to be
have,
in
what
charge
committee
of
do
this
we have
project?
that would fit with that?
So I hate to say this, but it was advisory who put it together.
Yeah. So,
Well, the advisory was
To
to
put it
write the
together.
ordinance
Yeah, I know.
and to support it with whatever was necessary to roll it out. That was our task.
But we
I don't know,
haven't,
would
we
Mel
haven't
be a
seen a
good
rollout
administrator?
plan though.
I don't think that would be appropriate for Mel to be the.
Okay,
No.
that was just, I just
And we
wanted
have-
to throw it out there.
We haven't
Okay.
seen a rollout plan, like what does rollout mean?
Why don't we just table
You know,
this till
so you
next
have to-
meeting,
motion
and we'll get
to
the
We have
paperwork
nothing in
together.
motion to
Do that.
table until council can
But it
get
was
more
brought up just
information
so we're
on
not
exactly what
forgetting
we're
about
talking
it.
about.
Good, excellent.
Cause I just saw
Very happy
rental
with that.
inspections, I didn't see anything in here, I'm like, what are we doing? I don't know.
Well,
It's only because
so-
it's been so long.
But
I know, that's all, just want to remind them, I'm happy with that.
Hold on one
I'll send
second.
the paperwork again.
If we're tabling it, and we're gonna come back at it next month, someone still has to be in charge of it to bring a rollout plan in place.
Yeah.
Like, we're
Well,
coming up
he's
with
got
the
all the
same
paperwork,
problem.
he said.
Everybody
like,
does. It's in our packets and our notes and our.
We can pull out the ordinance that we wrote, we got the
It's all out
paperwork.
there. It's been out there for a while. But I mean, to make it easier, I
I
don't
will
want to make
say-
anybody do extra work. I'll
So
send
we
you a
get the
document.
papers and we read them. We say it's good. Who's gonna do it?
Well, that's,
who?
no, what do you mean, no, that's Mel,
It's gotta be
right?
somebody
Mel does the
with
inspection.
experience.
Yes, and that's.
Mel does
What
the
else is there
inspection.
Inspection.
Mel does the
Mel would
inspection.
have to
Mel
do the
He'll be in charge,
inspection.
yeah, all the serving the paperwork.
Because he knows the rules.
He's
I
got
would
building
say,
He's got
I
the
would say,
Yes.
He's got
Yeah.
this is what you need to do and what you can't get away with and it's
so
all
can we all
spelled out.
talk one at a time?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
My biggest complaint about the rental inspections would be, we are talking about everyone has the documents. This is a decision that predates me. I don't have any of the documents.
I'll make sure you get a copy.
And I would love anything that we, and then I think at that point, once we've all reviewed it, I think it would be more applicable to decide who's going to decide
Here, here.
after the three of us have a chance to review it.
So is it,
I'll
It
put
should
together
be
all
in
my
our
infamous
book,
for
though,
information only
the
package.
Yeah.
books that we got
It's in
when
your
we
book.
started, it should be
It's
in
in
there.
your
So
book.
all
Not all.
we really
Yes.
need
Not all of
is.
it.
No.
What
it's
should
not-
So
be-
we have more forms.
Online it is, I don't know if that.
No, the ordinance she's talking
Oh, the
about. The
ordinance.
ordinance should be.
It should be in your book.
Right.
We got an update of ordinances not
But I'm
too long
but
ago.
I'm
It might
assuming
be in-
there's a.
They might have to be
Right.
inserted
Like that.
physically,
Yes.
but it's online.
It's always online first.
The ordinance is, it should be in your book. I don't think, the forms wouldn't be included in your code book or your ordinance
No,
book.
those were just text documents that I gave to
Right, so
To
if
Donna,
that is where I,
I'm doing it.
that is where I would start.
Can be done right off of those documents, but that's as far as I'm going with that particular part.
So motion, I'll support the motion.
Wait, Kenny?
So, the ordinance is written, what we're needing now is just the documents to,
Hey, we
the
already had to
plan,
roll it out, the plan to roll it
but the
out.
documents to support it are
We
already
need to
made.
execute.
Just say, this is the day that they're gonna start doing inspections.
Plan needs
Well, we need the documents too.
Yeah,
because-
yeah, so we're not doing anything, but a motion to table right now.
Okay.
Support.
Okay. Let's see. Harper,
Yes.
Mazer,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wayron,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Dear God, yes.
Dunbar. Yes.
W and S regarding the Bell River Pratt Road area drainage study.
Let me just make a note on that before we get too deep into that.
Yeah.
I notice they have water and sewer. That would be faults in there, that would fall under streets.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
oh, you mean on the agenda?
Yeah.
That's on the agenda, how
Yes.
it's written. I see
Water and
W
sewer
and
would be
S like
streets.
water and sewer. In reality, any funding would come out of the streets, the cost.
Okay.
Is that this invoice that we're looking at, or this scope of work proposal?
There's a estimated quote.
Is that what this is that what we're talking
The
about?
BMJ,
Yeah,
yes.
the BMJ one.
Now, are we passing this cost on to the developer, correct?
I would say
No.
yes.
I don't
No.
believe there, I don't think so, you can.
No? Okay.
No,
Why couldn't we? I guess.
because most of the work is really work that is past due. Our ditching, our culverts that are outdated and
And someone Lois was,
And, yeah, Law Street, for example, that's already having some culverts replaced, but
That's already
at the
been
corner
engineered
of
though,
Bell
right?
River and Pratt Road, for example, there's tubes underneath and that is rotted, and,
So,
the majority of their shots and all that really is gonna be city property and has nothing to do with the contract.
so they already came out and did this?
No,
No, this is
they
both.
just met,
Just
and
proposed.
upon his view of it and what he's seen, he doesn't see where, in his opinion, where you could really put this cost from BMJ onto the contractor.
Sure. So when you guys met with him, what was that conversation? He, like all the stuff you just said, that it would be mostly city
Yeah.
to repair just that first site, not actually.
One that stands out is when we walked over around to the Pratt Road side, that drainage ditch. And by the way, after the meeting, the statewide,
Yep.
they moved equipment in and they opened that ditch up.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, and then what I remember Phil was saying, he said, boy, that's awful low as he's pointing north. If it was behind Peter's property, but obviously the land is low back in there.
Right.
And he says, boy, it doesn't look like, they'd have to go very deep for any type of retention pond, because currently you're looking at one. That's how deep
I'm
that
well
is.
aware.
And again, you
Well
got a
aware.
good bird's eye view of it.
Yeah.
So, anyways, there was a comment that he made, and then we had a issue on Lois and Bell River Road area there, which, again, with the light rains we've been having, is working, but we're in a stall mode, because until Lois Street gets done with 200-foot of culvert heading north on the Bell River Road, they have nothing to tie that drainage into.
So it's a
I can
time-
tie it into, but hey, the drains are rotted and full of dirt and useless. And that isn't happening till
September.
September.
Right.
So, but this is just engineering, just for them to look at it. This is
Yeah,
not
to
for
come
them
out
to do
do
anything.
transit shots and such,
Elevation,
and then,
drainage.
and then from there, they give you an estimated cost on correcting what they find.
But part of it will be corrected this fall
With Lois.
with Lois.
Yeah,
That being said, the Lois Street culvert is gonna come right across from Mr. Fields' property, and there's no natural path for the water there except for back, correct?
Well, you have, you
It's
have
not
the
gonna
ditches
fix
in
the
the
west
front.
side
Right.
of Bell River Road. That's not gonna change the.
When we walked it, they were talking about possibly expanding the ditch from Mr. Fields' property, going down and leading all of that water down Bell River and around Pratt to go behind your house.
I'm super excited. I hope listen, when I come back to council and start complaining about my drainage, I hope everyone is as excited about it.
But you're correct, Ken, that's what I remember.
That being
I feel
said,
you.
I'm not 100% sure why
I've
this
seen it.
conversation happened
I
when
can
we
testify.
originally did approve the elevations being shot. That would be my only.
What was your concern, Ken?
Lois and Robert
We
have
just
already been
originally talked
engineered,
about shooting
right?
the
Lois and
elevations,
Robert are
and that
engineered.
isn't
We've already paid that,
necessarily-
right?
That's already done, so
That's
this is
what the
just
rules
going up
say.
into Pratt and Bell River and a little bit of Sabin, I see here.
No, this,
The what?
this,
Sabin
it
connection?
says from Sabin all the way to Pratt, so that includes
Okay.
the whole
They just show us
field,
our rates.
Well, we
Lois.
could, you're saying make sure that they include that?
So,
That would be,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, well, we could probably
So
do
we're
that
paying
without
for
changing
something
the
to be
price
done
of it. Say,
twice?
look, you want.
Did we, so has this happened before?
what?
Has,
It's gonna be a couple hours, just a few $100.
has this happened before? Have they shot these elevations before? Or
No,
they have not?
no.
Okay.
And again, there is some culvert work to go underneath Bell River Road, but you know the shape of that.
Right.
Um,
So it sounds
but
like
I,
you're
but I
saying,
think that's really the only thing that needs immediate address right now, is that culvert under Bell River.
what it sounds like.
Well, in a couple locations, and then ditching being done.
Yeah, so this is probably pretty wise to do because they're gonna be doing ditching, because this isn't Lois, Robert, this is the ditching along Pratt and Bell River.
Yeah.
They're going to give you
Along with
recommendations
under
on
the
even
road
tube
culverts.
sizes and
But-
such under Bell
So
River.
if we
And
pay
north-
for them to
and
do it
then
now, it
north-
doesn't matter if the work is done in September, we at least have this information, we have this data to
Right.
work on.
Yeah.
So,
The trouble I'm having is it seems like duplicate work
Yeah.
in some areas.
Um,
Like if they're including east side Bell River, right, isn't that, and maybe I'm being naive about this, so please be gentle. Isn't that, won't the solutions from Lois and Robert and that culverting, coupled with what we already know needs to be done under Bell River, would that solve or remedy the majority of those issues?
Just on the east side.
Just on the east side, right.
That
Just
on
culvert's
the
gotta
east
be
side,
replaced underneath.
Well,
But-
that's
but if
already
you
done,
take
there's
this-
200 feet of culvert coming to Lois
If you
and
take
Robert.
this to Bell River Road, Mr. Riddle, for example, his corner lot,
Yep,
there's issues in there, again, that's been there for years.
okay,
And again, there's tubes under the
Sure.
road and, but if they did these shots and such, they could give us probably a cost estimate of what it would take.
how soon can they do it?
Not only a print, but a cost estimate to remedy this, which would include ditching and such.
So Bart, do you have culvert for under the road? Is
There's
that what you-
existing culverts now, it's just.
No, I mean, Tim just said that you got a couple hundred feet.
For
of culvert.
Lois and Robert?
Yeah.
Oh, that's for Lois and Robert.
For those,
Yeah.
So we
And-
still need to have a culvert.
it'd be going north down Bell River, Steve.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think where the duplication is the general areas along Bell River between Sabin and Pratt. Along Pratt Road between Bell River and Point.
Sabin
Okay.
doesn't even come out on the
I'll give you an idea on the age of the tubes that's on, all of Bell River.
Yeah, there's fields and houses, it's like half a block of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They put those that corrugated metal pipe, the day I started, they were shoving them into ditches, and that's 1992.
well, so many people have filled in their own ditches, I want a ditch.
Well,
where-
there's a culvert there to
Ditch.
fill in, okey dokey, but there's people that on weekends will kick the culvert in and throw dirt on it.
Did,
And again, that's the reason for ditches, water is not gonna just magically, even if they bring a riser up, to the surface, that road is now not gonna get drained.
I think it's
So-
important that we do this, just because of the deliverables will include a general drainage map of the area. That's gonna be really just good to have. I mean, not for whatever we do this year, but what we do next year or any year, to have a map of the area is worth the $5,000 to me. Estimated storm runoffs at critical locations and recommendations for stormwater improvements. This isn't just about a one-time thing, this is stuff that we actually will have data on, that we will be able to use 5 years from now. Or
Here's the question is, do we have the money to
fix
correct
it
this?
when they come
Well,
up.
whether
This isn't like a $10,000 job, I
Yeah.
assure
Well, that,
you.
we cross that bridge when we get to it, but at least we know
I
what
just
we're talking
want,
about.
I'm gonna alert you again, we got money that's gotta go out.
Do
big
they-
money.
Do they have okay, I have two questions. Do they have a timeline of when this could be done? Can it be done before our next meeting? Can we have the results before? our
I
next meeting?
I don't think so. It may be, maybe 2 meetings away,
2 meetings away?
yeah.
Okay.
from my,
And who, so Bart, you're leading this, right?
If you'd like
You
to,
would,
sure.
I don't, that's what I'm asking. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Because that seems to be the consensus that we're discovering today, is there's not a lot of people
Right.
taking the lead.
No, it's like, if you approve this, I'll be on the phone tomorrow and
Tell them
signing
Phil to get
this
out here.
and authorizing it.
Probably
Phil seems to
Your
be pretty
blessing.
quick, he gets back,
Yeah,
text him, call him, or he gets back pretty good.
oh yeah, he does, yeah.
Any other questions? Alright, I'll make the motion to approve the estimate for BMJ to provide us with deliverables, including general drainage map of the area, I can't read, estimated storm runoff flows at critical location, and recommendations for stormwater improvements, report in letter format.
Support. That will be paid out of
Who pays it? Streets?
yeah, Major and actually Pratt Road is a local.
So you could split it,
So split it between
Local and
two.
Major.
Okay.
Okay, Mazer,
Yes.
Who supported?
Sofa,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wayrum,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Dunbar,
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
New business, Parks and Rec.
Is this a Parks and Rec
This is
thing, or is this
the
something?
slides.
The slides.
Oh,
That's to
Old
replace
school park
slides.
slides.
yeah, Donna's really been researching that, trying to find new items. And I forgot what the number was on it now.
$1,500.
1,500.
Oh,
Mark it up.
we needed a couple sections, what was the cost, $1,512? Thank you.
Well, I mean, as a matter of safety, it's something that needs to be done, and I know that stuff is done.
They were replacing sections now.
Oh,
So it depends on if it's the same section. So that's the money for just 2 sections.
Crazy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
How much is that?
15.
That-
Does that come out of?
Parks
and Rec.
Parks and Rec,
Yeah.
Parks and Rec doesn't really have a budget that capable of that kind of stuff.
I think the next budget time, we should maybe put a line item in there and
For Parks and
put
Rec.
some money to maintain
Yeah.
the existing equipment that we do have.
Yeah, because we just helped her budget.
I was gonna say, I thought we always
Have to use it on this.
But this is what happened is, we got people with baseball bats playing over here again. And that went away for the longest time, well now, you're new with those pictures, what Don was talking.
Yeah.
And that's what happened, they go over to play ball and they decide to, whatever reason,
And then-
people like that.
So Bart, you're replacing these? Or does
Yeah,
somebody come in?
if Donna can get
If it's
those
approved.
from that particular company, then we'll just replace those particular sections. There should be 3
No,
sections.
they'll charge you to come out and do it
Donna.
themselves.
Yeah, I don't wanna pay
Yeah.
any more than we have to.
Right.
Yeah, there was 3 sections, remember one on the west side needed a section put in?
I see 2 and 2.
I don't know, you told me 2.
Two,
You
No, I
only
need
said
2, yeah, I need 2 on the east side.
you got 4 pieces altogether.
It'll be,
I don't
should
know where you
only
only
be 1,
told me
2,
to
should
send
only be 3
pictures.
pieces,
We'll try to do more.
yeah. If
You
that's
have
only showing 2
2
pieces.
rung enclosed panel, And then you have two
hardware.
hardware, so just the hardware.
Yeah.
So you just have
So you
two
have two
panels
panels.
and the hardware for two panels.
Okay, so that's all on the
I'm guessing it's
east
the,
side slide. I need one section in hardware, right, hardware.
so it needs to be 3 and 3? Is that what you're saying? 3 hardware, 3 sections?
Yeah,
Still need
total
another
3
section.
sections. There's 2 separate slides. You got an east slide, which is a shorter one, and then you got a larger slide to the west side, and on the north side, I think that's a metal slide.
So we don't have a
We don't have a quote for that.
quote for that. I mean, we know what the unit price is, but they gave us a $300 discount. If we buy more, are they gonna, what is it gonna be by a discount on it?
Obviously, I apologize, there was obviously some miscommunication.
Can we just do this one now and do the
Yeah.
next one another time so we can get it fixed?
But
Could
the
we
way it
just approve?
stands right now, kids can, on the west slide, could catch their hand on the, what I'll call the rail.
So that's not this one.
So even if we fix this, it's still gonna be like, have the safety tape and everything because
On
of the
the
other one.
opposite,
Right.
on the west hand side, yeah.
So how many panels do you need and how many,
Total 3.
total 3 panels?
They're not the same though, right?
400 more if we
Are all these
approve
panels
it
the
for
same?
2,000.
You gotta go by what section it is.
Shouldn't
be
Because
that
on all
much.
the
It's a
curves,
different angle on every one. It's good.
And the
fourth
panels,
one up, third
615.
one
Yeah,
up.
615
Yeah, they called it-
and 121.
Yeah, I got 307 for one more of those.
Well, no, it's unit price with a
Oh,
total of
unit
1,200.
price,
Could we just approve for an amount of 2,300 and hope they'll give us a better discount since we're ordering a third?
I would approve, I would vote in favor of it.
Make a motion, see what happens.
A motion, we approve a expenditure of $2,300 on replacing the slide with hopes to get a greater discount for the third panels.
Support.
See what happens.
Those kids don't eat slides.
Sofa,
Yeah.
Go run.
Sofa,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wayram,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Dunbar,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Mazer.
Yes.
Dunbar,
Yes.
you're up.
Oh yeah, so I typed up a memo about best practices that I wanted included. Funny enough, you know, one of the areas that I mentioned in that memo was brought up tonight, where I think we act upon decisions and then there is no clear plan for follow-up. Specifically, the grade shots, we approved that at the last meeting, and I think it was nearly 2 weeks before we got a hold of BMJ. I don't necessarily fault anyone on that, because we never discussed, you know, is it Donna who's gonna reach out, is it Bart who's gonna reach out? We did not establish that, so I think that was an instance in which we could be better. My proposal would be that obviously,
Somebody has to have an action item going forward when we approve.
yes, when we approve things there. Additionally, I thought that we could possibly form a committee, if not give it to advisory, just to discuss some best practices as a way to increase just our transparency, our functionality, because I think you're gonna get out of things what you put into them. So if we want to get more out of
It
our
would
local.
speed up the processes too.
Yes.
Because if we know what has to be done going forward, then.
Exactly. I think a lot of the frustration that we experience and the citizens experience is avoidable 100%. And I think we can operate in a way that, you know, there'll still be disagreements, but I think we'll at least be on the same page as to the process of handling the decisions.
Council as a whole, I believe what happens is, and when you vote to do something,
Yeah.
Donna, nobody's directed
Right.
who's gonna do it.
100%.
We kind of assume it's gonna be out of my department, or Donna
Right.
assumes but we're never directly told.
And I don't think that's fair to you.
We'll put that, moving forward, we can put that in the motions when we make a motion, that here's what we're voting on with,
Yeah,
and this person is gonna handle
Whether it's a
it.
committee or a department
Yes.
or
Person.
has the lead on that.
Perfect.
and then additionally in the memo, or not in the memo, but attached to our packets was some bylaws for the, just sample bylaws, but I think that would be a good practice to get into.
You're talking about this one, the procedures?
Yes, it's just that way we know, which it's a truncated version of Robert's rules, but it's a lot shorter, it's more manageable. It gives us a clear standing of this is why we're making this decision, or this is why we're taking this action, and,
This is procedure, not rules of order, but
Right.
it's just your best practices.
best practices,
procedures.
absolutely.
What were you looking to, like, adopt this?
I wouldn't adopt that version per se, but I think that's a good jumping off point, you know, we can look at other municipalities.
Just put it on record that we're adopting this, because every year when we first start, we say, you know, we adopt Robert's Rules of
Right.
Orders. You know, would this be something that would be added to that?
Absolutely,
type of
yep.
thing?
And then, you know, if Mr. Fields or Tina wanted to, you know, take a look at those procedures, it would say, okay, you can talk for 3 minutes, you can talk, you can't regulate what they can talk about, but you can talk about for 3 minutes, you're allowed to speak at the beginning of meetings, and it just, you know, please be nice to us. It just puts it all in, so we're on the same page and operating on the same wavelength. But that's why I said maybe we should have a committee discuss this, because it's just, this is just my opinion, and I don't think we should govern based on my opinion alone.
No, I think it's good.
It seems to be working.
That's a good idea, and I would recommend you to do that committee.
And I was gonna say, I don't see a committee doing it, I think as a council should do it.
Yeah.
Well,
But it has to be drafted, it has to be.
Well, I make a motion to move forward with this and have Mr. Dunbar, Councilman Dunbar, work on a tailored, rules of procedure for the city of Memphis.
adoptable.
And would you like some help on that?
I mean, I'd
Well,
love,
he's-
first, he
welcome
just
to
made,
ask for
so
help
he just
whenever
made a
you want.
motion,
okay.
so we have to decide about
If
that.
he wants help, he can ask anybody he wants.
Yeah.
I'll
It's
support
all on you,
this.
baby.
Let's see what happens.
But he's just in the driver's seat, any of y'all wanna be passing?
So this would be to create a truncated version of Robert's rules.
Yep.
Well, our rules of order are already Robert's
Right,
Rules of
and
Order, this is the
they
rules
are.
of procedure.
Right.
These are the rules of procedures, but in any instance in which they would conflict, we would defer to our rules of procedures as opposed to Robert's rules.
Yeah, we're not very tight on them anyway.
We are not. But I think that's something
Why would we defer to the procedure instead of Robert's rules?
because those are set rules that we agree upon.
Those are parliamentarian.
I know that, so why wouldn't that be the
Well, you're
deferral?
not gonna discuss the specifics of kind of stuff.
No, I'm saying like, you just said if there's a conflict, we would refer to these, not
Mhm.
Robert's rules.
Well, it
Why
would be-
wouldn't we defer to Robert's rules as like, because to me, my understanding is these are like truncated, shorter, quicker versions that are easier to explain.
Mhm.
If there's a conflict between this and Robert's rule, why would we?
There shouldn't be a conflict.
Well,
that's what I'm
I think
thinking.
those are more,
Like,
just
wouldn't-
more,
wouldn't Robert's rule be
in-depth
the
or more
rule?
customized to our.
Right, they're more customized to us. It's pretty common from.
No, it even says in here, this is.
I know.
If you go into the discussion and voting,
Right.
discussion and voting is really where Robert's Rules of Order are taking effect. You know, there's not a lot of people who are going, point of order.
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
To answer your question, I'm not 100% sure on why that's standard, but in all of the bylaws, all those rules and procedures I've read,
This supersedes Robert's rules.
yes,
Because you made them up yourself for your body.
for your body.
But as rules of order, just how you run a meeting, for
Right.
the most part, you go to Robert's Rules of Order, how you make your motions and how
Right.
it goes on, but I like it, you
Yeah.
know, it's, because you know what, Robert's Rules of Order are easy, but there's a lot to it that could be,
Absolutely.
put in plain English like
Yes.
this and easier to understand.
Yeah,
I mean, that's why some cities actually have a parliamentarian, because most people are like, don't really get Robert's Rules of Order.
Did anyone support Jason's motion? If
I'll
not,
support
I
it.
will.
I thought you did.
I will.
Okay, Weaver,
Yes.
Wayrum,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Dunbar,
yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Mazer,
Yes.
Sofa.
Yes.
And then I see I'm on there for conflict of interest as well. That was more just for your information. I don't think we need to discuss that at all.
That's your bylaws for planning?
Yep, that's the planning bylaws. We had talked about it, so I wrote it up, so we had a clear record of it.
Okay, thank you. DPW?
Not an invoice for AIS?
Yes.
That was the beginning. I called AIS in to do some work there when a hydraulic first went out. And because they were so much closer. And when they came here, it messed up right out of the get-go, and he started looking at it and what do I want to say, tinkering with it, what have you, to diagnose the problem. Well, as soon as he pulled it out of the bay and started running it outside, it wouldn't mess up anymore.
Mm-hmm. Can't we just tell them no, because we're gonna buy a new one?
We did buy the new one.
I know.
So that's what that invoice, that was the
Yeah.
start of the end of the old back.
I'll make a motion to pay the invoice.
They performed what they, as it's written.
But we didn't have to pay that 11,000.
There was like a 13,000.
So we didn't have to pay that.
No, that
We'll
was
pay
part
it.
of the trade-in agreement.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'll make a motion to pay the invoice to AIS Construction for the initial review of the backhoe situation.
Support.
Waring,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Dunbar,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Mazer,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
MML Board of Trustees election.
We do this every year,
Yeah.
and basically, most of these people all run unopposed. So we usually just vote for the slate and vote to approve it, these people, because they're not running against each other really.
Oh, right.
Yeah, they got 4 for 4.
There's four open seats and there's 4 people running.
That's fine.
It happens like that every year.
Are we as a collective voting for,
Yes, this is from the city of
For
Memphis.
our city.
We are members, so we get to vote.
City votes, not
We have
us.
a-
as
Right, the
individuals.
city.
We have a vote. A vote.
So who wants to make that motion?
I motion we vote for the 4 incumbents, or the 4
Support.
nominees?
You can do that
Zimmer?
and not vote for any of
Yes.
them.
Dunbar?
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Mazer,
Oh, okay.
Sofa, Sofa,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Waring.
Yes.
No.
No, I don't know at all.
All right, any motion to go into
I make
executive
a motion
session?
to go into executive session.
Support.
You want to let him just take, because he was in vote.
Should we get Eric?
Let's go with Albert ready. Yeah, he's gonna take it down.
Yeah, if you see Eric out there, well,
You gotta vote on it first.
We did.
I don't think we.
yeah, we.
Oh, we're going to executive session.
Dunbar,
Yes.
Don't you stick around.
Parker,
Yes.
You
Mazer,
want to say it?
Sofa,
Yes.
Weaver. Yes. Waring,
Yes.
Zimmer.
Yes.
Okay, we're there.
Hold on one
We did it
second.
last time.
I watched the video we did.
Okay, there we go.
I know.
He's gonna make a motion.
I'll do DPW.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna make a motion to approve the negotiated DPW contracts as stated during our session. We're done.
I'll second.
Okay, I'm ready, sorry.
All right.
Okay, so Zimmer motion and Parker. Mazer,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Waring,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Dunbar,
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Okay then, so, on to the other, I make a motion to approve the, updated police union contract as we discussed in our executive session.
Support.
Sofa,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Waver,
No.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Dunbar,
Yes.
Harper,
Yes.
Mazer.
Yes.
Okay, so I got Sofa, Weaver, Zimmer, Dunbar, Harper, Mazer, yes. Wareham, no. Motion carried.
I lost my agenda. Oh, there it is, I got it.
We're done.
That's it, we're done?
So, just so you know, I'll
Are you done, Megan?
no, I just wanna, just going back to the last thing, I'll get a hold of the union guy and he will send over the contract,
Okay,
cause you're the one that signs it, so.
okay.
Even if you vote
Is there
no.
both, is there?
TPW chair probably has to get, or Larry, will you get a hold of
I'll
him?
take care of that.
Okay.
But the police one, I believe it's the mayor, right?
I think would the mayor have to sign both of them?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, they'll make the contract up,
yep.
and then they'll come back to us for,
Yeah, so I'll have, what's his name Mike, I'll have him bring it over to Donna, and then just give notice to Tammy to, whenever she has time to come in. Sorry.
That's okay. Okay, first thing, the change in the garbage collection. I think we're gonna have a problem because I know a lot of people didn't get letters. So be aware of that.
Did they not get letters?
I have a PO box. I think all the PO boxes didn't get anything.
Gotcha.
So,
I don't think I got it, but
I was,
I did it.
I was gonna say, I don't remember seeing a
I got
letter.
a letter.
I got one.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay.
So I asked if we could all maybe put it out there, share it, ask people to tell your neighbors, trash goes out tomorrow, recycle, we are no longer doing it. I did not.
is it on the website?
Wednesdays are.
It's on the website.
Thursdays.
Thursday, they.
But you put it out
put it
tomorrow.
out
Wednesday
tomorrow
night,
night.
No, Wednesday.
Thursday's garbage day now.
Because it needs to be out by
Which-
6.
And I think that's not bad because if you miss garbage on Friday, then, you know, it's the weekend. So,
Well, we asked for Thursday because
Okay.
like things like festival, you know, and if people go out of town or whatever, their trash bins are sitting out all weekend.
That's what I mean.
All weekend. So this way we're hoping we can get things cleaned up. So changing that, so let's try and get the word out tonight, tomorrow, so that we can definitely avoid a lot of calls to the city office on Friday.
You know what calls we're getting?
What?
We're getting calls that people's recycle bins, this is so funny, been taken.
Yeah.
And I'm explaining to them, and they're like, but they're taking our trash cans. I'm like, did you pay for the trash? No, it's not even our people, it's Memphis, Tennessee, they change people too. And we're getting all the Tennessee calls. And
Oh my God.
I'm starting to listen to the accent,
I
and
was
I'm
like, 'cause I
like,
have
me and
both
Amber
my
are getting
big
flooded
users
with their
and
calls,
they're
and they
bins, you know,
told
I got-
us your numbers on their website. And I'm like, well, we're not Tennessee.
No, I-
So
If we are, give us a
Cross it
website.
out.
If you put out your recycle bin, they did take it. So
Yeah, they did
They
take
took
it.
mine, so.
That's why me and her were so
They just
confused.
sprayed, crushed it with the recycling.
Really?
Good selling point.
Wow.
I didn't even take it
But
that way.
I told Dennis, I said, you want them bins?
I wanted to keep mine. I thought they would just,
There you
well,
go.
no, because I still take recycling for the bar to Jeff's Rubbish.
Yeah.
So I will still take my recycling for my house. But, you know, so now I don't have a bin. So if anybody has a
If
bin,
he
I'm
has
gonna-
any
My
left.
recycling's just
They-
gonna go in my
they-
recycling bin, they can throw it out like
On
garbage.
the side.
All right, also Memphis Festival Days, August 7 through 10. I am trying to get the street cleaned again before that time frame. We'll probably, well, if they're gonna be doing M19,
It might be pretty darn clean.
it should be pretty clean. Maybe we can try and have it cleaned maybe before that. I don't know, because the thing I want to focus on is all the drains along, because they get so much debris and stuff in them. So I am working with Bart as well to try and get some of the kids from the school doing community service. And we're gonna start focusing on that kind of stuff. So if anybody has any ideas or things like that, I've
For
been
Main
giving.
Street, like cleanup?
For anything around town, like, you know, I'm gonna start small, but we wanna try and get, you know, some involvement and stuff that maybe the DPW can't get to or things like that. So we can, you know, kinda address some of these things. You know, just starting, I think when they start school next fall, we'll get more into a bigger program. So we can sign off on some community service. I'm a firm believer that the kids at Memphis schools should do their community service in their community.
Yes.
Not going to their parents' work and
Agreed.
sitting there. There's a lot that can be done around town. So if you guys have any ideas, I would welcome them.
Have you talked to the new high school principal?
I've not talked to the principal, but I've called over there and I can't remember the lady I talked to, but she says she handles all of that. She sent me some information and things like that. And she said if we have something, she can get stuff out to the kids.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, Janelle's really focused on student involvement. So
Good.
I
Yeah.
would think that would be.
Well, I originally had a appointment with the high school and the elementary principals, and
Well, this is awkward.
it was very poor timing. So, so that never happened, and so yeah, I'll probably reach out to them again.
Yeah.
And do something, but I appreciate everybody's help in this. I would like to work with you because I do have some ideas and I do have some issues that we would like to incorporate in that best practices.
Absolutely.
Okay, and that's all I have. Oh, I would like to see council, as many council, I know the fire will be out there for the parades and I would like to see a lot of visibility from us for festival
Parade
days.
is Friday, the parade, right?
Parade is Friday at 8 o'clock,
6:30.
6:30.
Are you talking about like
On
us
the-
walking?
sorry.
I'm gonna be out at the golf
Sorry,
course
at
all
the
day.
There's a lot of events going on, I would like to see some involvement.
We
from
need volunteers for
city
the dump
council.
tank.
We need volunteers for the dump tank.
There you go. I mean, if the
Because
weather keeps
that's
up
the
like
way
this,
they
you don't
want
want
It'll be a
it.
tree, yeah.
So I will be in the parade, so I was in the parade for Memorial Day, so I think we need to have more visibility for us. Okay?
Let's talk
I
about
have a great question.
Yes.
Or what I feel like is a great question. I have lived here for many, many years and I've never understood this. In order to boost our parade, why is the 5K happening at the same time as the parade?
And I can answer that. Because
That's,
people that volunteer to run the 5K feel that it's important for those runners to have people
spectators.
cheering them on and spectators. And that's the best way to get it done is prior to the parade.
It's,
Yeah.
it's
There you
also helpful for road closures. That
Yeah, we're
If
only
you
closing
do
the
everything,
road
you
one
have to
time.
close the road once, cause you gotta get permission to close that road.
Do you see a negative to it, Tim?
Do you
I
want,
do.
we
What's the
could, we could maybe run it
I
a
see,
half an hour earlier
Well,
then?
why can't they run it and then just be in the parade if they want everybody taking
Like
out
they
who
lead
they
the
are?
parade.
Well, they're running right at the beginning of the parade.
so my thinking, and my brain is different, I acknowledge that. My thinking would be all of those people that are there hanging out at the Lions Hall, volunteering there, are not at the parade.
I think you would find most of the people running in the duck dash are from out of town.
Right.
Anyway.
I get that. That's, like I said, just my thought process. Those are potentially all people who could be
People who run it.
at the parade. That's the only reason I question
Well,
that.
So
That
it's
is
not
up
a
to city
timing and it's
council.
it's not a jamming
Right, I
anything.
know, I just like.
Right, it's not a
like we're
jamming
talking about-
anything up kind of.
No,
It's
it's
just
nothing
an
to do with that.
observation that,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Right.
just trying to understand.
Because I mean, we could ask them to run it a half an hour earlier.
Well, you don't have to
If
change
it's-
anything because of
No,
me.
because
Tim Zimmer said we're doing it
This is law now, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
just
so
curious.
It's the road.
I think
closure
all the people
So-
who are expected, families of the people running are gonna be at the parade, so they're
Yeah,
gonna be,
you're
they're gonna be
That's
finding
fair.
them and then they're gonna stay there.
But if I run in the 5K, I won't be able to be in the parade.
Well, you will have been in the
thing.
parade.
You will have been in the parade.
You will
Not
have
officially
been
runner.
pre-parade.
Not officially.
You're
Just,
you're
just wear
start
I'm in city council shirt or
At the
something.
beginning of
Just
the,
logically, sorry. I mean, we could, I mean, it's not a huge, it's not a hill I'm dying on, I just,
They have tried in the past,
Do they rain on Sunday?
they have tried in the past to run it on Sunday, which they have, they did it at least 2 years that I know of for sure. They did it on a Thursday night, trying to get away from the parade, but
no, I know.
the attendance was down for runners,
Yeah.
Sure,
And there's money, it's a fundraiser.
it is,
so.
absolutely. That was all.
You just have to be really fast so that you make it.
I'm not really fast. I'm old, I'm gonna have knee surgery,
They should
like,
run backwards and then just get to walk again.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
And then just walking it.
Yeah, just run them backwards and then they turn around and walk it.
The parade.
I ran like Jason
The
last year, I was like, I'm gonna die.
5K ends where the parade starts.
Yeah.
And go. Okay, Robbie.
This just brought to our attention, I was at a chamber meeting. It is 100 years for the fire department anniversary this year. And they kind of were talking to coincide with the new engine coming on.
We should do a
In
thing.
September, we should
Do a thing,
do a thing, city
We're gonna
thing,
do a
fire
thing.
department thing.
a thing.
And so you can think about it. You know, I don't know how involved the city can be in it.
Maybe the fire committee could get together and come up with an idea.
Come up with a little community celebration and a ribbon.
I think it'd be
cutting.
great, we
Lead
can
in the
use
fire
it
committee.
as soon as we get a,
I'm on the fire committee.
I think the fire chief should do that one.
Oh, I mean, you'll be involved.
and what we can do, once we have a date, you don't have a date yet.
We don't have a
Have they started building it? They've started on the city?
yes and no.
Yes, it's.
Got the chassis, right?
I know
The
that's,
chassis is there, I'm not sure about the body yet.
okay.
Maybe that day we can honor the firemen that saved Patrick Barry.
Yes, that's a good idea.
And do that at the same time.
We'll do a whole big fire
We can
thing.
do-
It's
make
a
it-
fire day.
Make a day of
Maybe
it.
you
All
guys
the
can
old
do-
time
we can do
block
a
parties, those
breakfast
were a
too.
blast.
I like those
If
breakfasts.
you get a turnout like you do for Santa Claus at the fire hall, then I
Yeah,
think you'd be happy.
get a band out there, block party. Camper, good.
I was just gonna say,
night?
for the advisory for the city hall, I just wanted to tell Steve and Tim before. If, the first thing is the ripping up the carpet, right?
No, that's actually included with the flooring bid. They included that with the flooring bid.
Well, but
And you want.
I mean, we could take it out.
we can just do that.
I mean, we
because
could
you're
just
gonna
do it
have
and
to
take it out of the
remove part
bid.
of it to do the wall.
Maybe that would come off
anyway,
the
so,
bid then.
yeah.
a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
But I thought maybe we could call Marcotti and maybe they're happy with us right now and maybe they'll donate it.
Yeah, I think we talked about that, right?
Yeah.
We can
Donate.
do that.
You get a dumpster.
Dumpster.
We can do
Yeah,
demo,
dumpster.
Kenny Dunbar is ready.
He's
I know, he's got a sawzall. He's like a real life grown-up.
Matter of fact, I already wrote Mark Brad.
It's cordless too.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
Lithium.
Mr. Dunbar.
I'm excited to get working on best practices. I apologize in advance for however annoying I will be perceived. That's just who I am as a human. I'm not sure
I'm
if
taking a
there,
note, pain in the ear.
I mean, it's- yeah, don't write that down.
I'm not sure if there was an official testing of our lagoon done, but I did find the memo that was distributed to us on planning regarding it in December. I made copies enough for all of us just so we could be on the same page about that.
Oh, it's all like. It's not just a memo.
Yeah, it was one of Mr. Wilson's handouts.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson.
Hey, where
So
do you get your paper?
You know, good.
That's the case.
This ain't city paper.
no, that's not something.
Jeez.
But I just thought we could provide that with so we could all review that and see if we can address that problem for Mr. Fields and be on the same page.
Steve?
Meeting with the Wilson, a couple board members from the Wilson Foundation at the end of the month, and they're going to do a site visit at the Lions Club in the area, and then they're gonna host their whole board here at the end of September. 30 people or more, getting the Lions Hall to use for they go to different communities and have their board meetings as they go through this grant process, so I'm hoping good things will come out of that. That's it, that's all I got.
You're done?
Festival's coming. Get your duck tickets. Raise your hand, help, be in the parade, do something. Just do something.
Do something.
I got nothing. Nothing at all. Absolutely nothing to say. About anything at all.
Zero.
Nothing.
That's a first.
I hear you loud and clear.
Yeah. Loud and clear.
No, I'm looking forward to Memphis Days. I think we should get Tammy a sash and a top hat, but.
Monocle.
Mayor!
Dog mayor.
Yeah, evidently I'm the dog mayor. These boys, the last parade, they're like, it's the dog mayor!
But yeah, no, besides that, I have nothing to add. I think, actually, the last page of this should be, what goes out to the response.
That would be my,
See this last page? Says
Yeah.
right there, they talk to BMJ. There's your reply to that.
90 condos.
Total units between the 13 and the.
Yeah, but at the very last page, it says Bart, after discussion with
With
the
the-
engineering
yeah.
firm, there's your,
He's gonna probably.
there's
want-
that answer.
He's probably gonna want a
That
copy.
we
of
can
that
proceed without
discussion.
any
Well, whatever.
contingency on the condo development.
That's what we have. All right, I say motion to adjourn.
I have one more nice paper.
this is pretty nice paper, Ken.
Yeah.